With the title of this video alone, I already know what the comments are gonna look like.
Just give up. There is no hope for the game. Blah, 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 blah.
But I'm still standing by my title, alright? I still have hope for World of Warcraft. Why? Well, there is quite a few reasons, and we're gonna get into them, obviously. But I don't want to also be overly positive and optimistic, so I am gonna talk about some of the things that I don't like, too. Like I'm sure many of you have, we have all lost hope in the game at some point. Probably. Or even lost hope multiple times throughout the years. So hey, let me know down in the comments what was your breaking point that made you lose hope in the game and maybe you quit and never came back. Maybe you share some of mine, but my biggest one is just the fact that almost every single person who made the original game is no longer with the company. Blizzard now has almost nobody left from Blizzard that made the original Warcraft games and the early versions of World of Warcraft. Another one for me was when they added the level boost in Burning Crusade Classic. That for me made me lose all hope for Classic WoW. They even doubled down and made me not feel bad for losing hope when they even added the WoW token in Wrath. And I will never buy into the bullshit that it's the only way to fight bots in RMT. That's some crap, Blizzard. But probably the biggest thing that's making me lose hope currently, at least in retail WoW, is just the themes of the game. It just doesn't feel cool anymore. I personally don't enjoy skinny dragon boys and girls talking about their feelings all expansion, alright? I want to go back to big sweaty orcs beating the shit out of each other. I don't even play Alliance, but what an embarrassment to go from one of the most badass kings ever to this sad excuse. But hey, this video is for me to be positive and talk about how I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So if you want a full video about me talking about all the things I don't like, let me know in the comments, because while I do really enjoy the current state of World of Warcraft, it has a very long way to go, and I do have a lot of not so nice things to say too. But let's get into the good things. And for those wondering about my hardcore series, don't worry, it's still coming. As of recording this, I am still alive. Those videos just take me a little bit longer to make, so there's probably going to be a video in between each one. Now, I know at the start I said that almost all the original team that made World of Warcraft is gone, but there is this one guy, alright? One guy that you maybe have heard of. He is responsible for a lot of WoW's early success. You may know him. His name is Chris Metzen. And when they brought Chris Metzen back to Blizzard and the WoW team, a lot of us just kind of thought he would kind of be like an ambassador type role, public face kind of thing. But apparently, according to some reliable sources, this is not the case. And Chris Metzen is actually extremely hands-on with the team and is playing a big role in the next expansion. Now, I don't know how much of a say he gets on gameplay and systems on that end, but I have to assume he is at the forefront of the theme and the story of the expansion. And that's where a lot of my hope is, for WoW to just feel cool again with Metzen in charge. Thrall is all over the promotion art for BlizzCon, and BlizzCon is totally where they're going to announce the next expansion, and it better be Chris himself up on that stage at BlizzCon giving the big announcement. Now, I know a cool theme alone isn't enough to save the game, okay? I was there for Warlords of Draenor, so I know how that went. But maybe this is wishful thinking. Maybe I'm clueless, but I feel after all these shitter expansions we've had, maybe, just maybe, they've learned what does and doesn't work. Because to be honest, I feel like if Dragonflight's content had the theme of something like Warlords of Draenor, WoW would be on top of the world again with people loving it. Dragonflight has retained players way better than any other expansion. The only problem is it isn't bringing anybody new in, and I feel like it's because of the theme. Think about it like this. If people saw Mr. Pandaria back in the day and thought Kung Fu Panda, they're probably seeing Dragonflight nowadays and thinking How to Train Your Dragon. It just doesn't feel that cool. Because Shadowlands and WoD, they brought in tons of new and returning players because the theme was cool. But all those players left because the expansion sucked. So I have hope that for the first time in a long time, we will get a cool themed expansion that doesn't really have a bunch of the shitty systems that ruined the other expansions. Another reason I have hope is classic hardcore. Now hear me out on this one, alright? Hardcore itself doesn't give me hope for really anything, but it proves Blizzard is willing to listen to the players. They gave us hardcore because the amount of people they saw playing the add-on and asking for the real hardcore server, and they are even still open to player feedback on adding more stuff, listening to what players want to make changes to it. Hell, they're even going to be adding the solo self-found mode for all those players that were asking for it. Now, me personally, I don't see why it was needed, because if you want to play solo solo self-found, just don't interact with other players. It's not that hard. But it's good. Blizzard's giving players what they want and what they're asking for. It sets a good precedent. Now, I just really hope when they add the solo self-found mode, they just give them one extra realm for the SSF, because I really just don't want to see the SSF players crying about having to see non-solo self-found players being around them. Ooh, these players around me, they're grouping up and having fun together. Another really good byproduct of hardcore is tons of people are playing Classic Era servers again, and I love to see it. Now, I said I gave up hope on Classic when they added that shit to Wrath and Burning Crusade, but so far, Classic Era has stayed pure, and I think it's gonna stay that way. And with all these people playing Classic Era servers again, I'm a little bit hopeful. You know, I might be sucking in the copium here that there's a good possibility we could get Classic Plus being announced at BlizzCon. Yes, it is me being very hopeful, but I just really don't want Cataclysm Classic, because man, Cataclysm does not fall under the Classic category if you ask me. I just really hope they see the popularity of Classic Era and put more love into Vanilla WoW. It's such a special game. It's so good. And with this year being the big 20-year anniversary, I really think we're gonna have big things for BlizzCon this year, and nothing will get people more excited and talking about the game again than a Classic Plus announcement. And I really hope that they realize that a lot of people play Classic Era and love it so much because there is no cash shop. There is no paying for character progression. There is no cosmetics to buy either. And I know when you mentioned that there's no WoW token or level boost in the Classic Era, people love to say,
Not yet.
but I honestly believe they won't cross that line, especially with the hardcore servers at least. And I honestly think they'll leave the regular Classic Era alone too. My only worry is Classic Plus. They might try to monetize it. But I really hope not, and I really hope that it's going to be good. But I really am sucking in that copium now, aren't I? But back to retail for a second, though. There is another thing that they've started to do recently that I'm a big fan of, and that's giving us old, unobtainable stuff back and just adding more things to make old content relevant and fun again. They added the skip to the end of Siege of Orgrimmar, and I have to imagine they're just going to keep adding stuff like that to things like Ice Crown, like Dragon Soul, like all the really long raids. But more importantly, they're giving us old versions of some dungeons and raids back. They've already given us Skullomance, the old original vanilla version, back, and so you can get all the old transmogs from there. They gave us part of Naxxramas back. You can't get everything from old Naxxramas, but you can get the tier 3 armor sets, and they made it so it's not super easy to do it. And there's also data mining that looks like the next thing we're getting up on the list is the old Scarlet Monastery back. And I'm kind of excited for that because I want my old Scarlet Crusade tabard back. Can't believe I deleted that thing back in the day. They're even giving back hundreds of old world drop transmogs that were lost after the Cataclysm. I know that there are some elitist players that are a little butthurt about old stuff coming back, and to be honest, I find it really funny. Especially when it's like old trading card game mounts just being given out for free, like the Blazing Hippogriff and the Feldrake, and I cannot wait for the day that they give out the Spectral Tiger for free, either as a Twitch drop or on the trading post or something like that. Because if you're paying $5 grand on this mount, you're dumb. I'm sorry. Well, actually, no, I'm not sorry. If you've spent all that money on a mount to feel special, I don't really know what to tell you. I can't wait till I get it for free. Anyways, in conclusion, yes, I still have hope for World of Warcraft. I think retail is in a good spot, and I believe it'll continue to go in a good direction for the future. And with the community behind Classic Era, I have hope that good things will come. And when it comes to Wrath Classic, my hope is that they just kind of like let it die, I'll be honest. Just let it go. It's over. Don't go into Cataclysm, please. And if you don't agree, that's fine. I'd actually love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to know all the things that made you lose hope, what you have hope for in the future, or just your ideas for the game in general. And hey, if you don't know what to comment down below, just slap a zug down in the comments and I'll know you made it to the end of the video. Anyways, peace out, y'all. I'll see you guys in my next hardcore video.